See, we launched Operation Sindhu on 18th of June. We have around 10,000 people of Indian community members in Iran, around 40,000 people in Israel who are Indian nationals. From Iran, we have so far evacuated 3,426 Indian nationals, 11 OCI card holders, 9 Nepalese nationals, and some Sri Lankan nationals as well. I'll give you the exact figure, plus one Iranian national who happens to be a spouse of an Indian national. In all, we mounted 14 flights to bring back Indian nationals from Iran. These flights, they flew from Mashhad, as also from Yerevan in Armenia and Ashgabat in Turkmenistan. I understand that one more flight is to come from or is on its way from Armenia, and it will land later this evening. With that, we would have completed all the people who wish to be evacuated from Iran, and they would be back home. As far as Israel is concerned, we have so far evacuated 818 Indian nationals in 4 flights. As you're aware, the airspace in Israel was closed, so we had to take our people to bordering countries, that is Jordan and Egypt. And from both these countries, they were put on special flights and they came back home. We are thankful to the governments of Egypt, Jordan, for this support. Headquarters here in mounting this operation. And once again, we'd like to thank the governments of Israel, Jordan, Operation Sindhu. But we'd also like to thank the governments of Iran. As you would know, that we made a request and they opened their airspace for us to evacuate our nationals. We are grateful to the government of Iran for this special gesture. We are also thankful to the government of Turkmenistan and Armenia for helping us evacuate our people. As far as the operation of this Operation Sindhu is concerned, we are assessing the situation on ground, and based on that, we'll take a decision as to whether we continue with it or not. We'll keep you updated in this regard. But as you know, that there's ceasefire, and we had welcomed the ceasefire. Sahil, your question regarding reinstatement of High Commissioner. As you would have seen, we had issued a press release when we had the last meeting of our Prime Minister with Prime Minister Carney on the sidelines of G7 in Kananaskis in Alberta. Both leaders then had reaffirmed the importance of India-Canada ties based on shared democratic values, respect for the rule of law, and commitment to of sovereignty and territorial integrity. Both sides agreed to take calibrated and constructive steps to restore stability in the relationship, beginning with the early return of high commissioners to each other's capitals. So that was what was agreed between the prime ministers. Both sides are now working on this particular matter. Soumya, on a question regarding SCO, we had Raksha Mantri, our defense minister, participating in the defense ministers meeting of SCO. This meeting happened over 2 days, that is yesterday and today. The defense ministers meeting has concluded. I understand that they could not adopt a joint statement. I also understand that certain member countries could not reach consensus on certain issues, and hence the document could not be finalized. On our side, India wanted concerns on terrorism reflected in the document, which was not acceptable to one particular country, and therefore the statement was not adopted. But we had participation of our Raksha Mantri. We issued a press release. The press release is very instructive in how we look at the threat of terrorism. Raksha Mantri, in his articulation and in his address, called upon the SCO member countries to come together, unite to fight terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. We had a press release which was issued a little earlier today, so I would refer you to look at that. He also reiterated the need to uphold the perpetrators, organizers, financiers, sponsors of reprehensible acts of terrorism, including cross-border terrorism. They to be held accountable and bring them to justice. He also urged all SCO members. He said that we must, in lockstep in our endeavor, we must all be in lockstep in our endeavor in strengthening stability and security in our neighborhood. So I would urge you to look at the statement of our Raksha Mantri. That would give you a sense of our approach to SCO on security. देखिए, रक्षा मंत्री एससीओ की जो रक्षा मंत्रियों की बैठक हुई उसमें उन्होंने भाग लिया. ये बैठक 25 और 26 तारीख को हुआ, यानी कि कल और आज. अभी जो डिफेंस मिनिस्टर रक्षा मंत्रियों की मीटिंग थी वो खत्म हो चुकी है और अन्य चीज चल रहे हैं. उसके साइडलाइन में लोगों का मिलना जुलना चल रहा है. जहां तक जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट की बात थी उस पर मैंने ये कहा कि कुछ जो सदस्य लोग हैं एससीओ के, वो इस बात पर उनकी सहमति नहीं बनी कुछ मुद्दों पर, और इसलिए वो जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट अपनाया नहीं गया. हमारे तरफ से जो हमारे अपने कुछ चिंताएं थी आतंकवाद को लेके, जिसको हम लोग चाहते थे कि उस डॉक्यूमेंट में जाए, उसके प्रति एक देश को आपत्ति थी, जिससे कारण से स्टेटमेंट को फाइनलाइज नहीं किया है. जैसे आपको पता है कि स्टेटमेंट के लिए कंसेंसस चाहिए होता है, और इस कारण से स्टेटमेंट अडॉप्ट नहीं हुआ. ये कहने के बाद मैं ये बताना चाहता हूं कि हमारे जो अपने स्टेटमेंट थे उसमें हमने बहुत अपना पक्ष, आतंकवाद को लेके जो हमारा पक्ष है, जो हमारा सोच है कि पूरी दुनिया को साथ मिलकर इस थ्रेट से, इस आतंकवाद के आतंकवाद से लड़ना चाहिए, इसको हमने वहां पर रखा. On the guidelines regarding visa issues, yes, you see, visa matters, immigration matters are matters which pertain to sovereign functions of any country. But having said that, we have seen the guidelines issued by the US side, the US embassy here, US government, regarding providing details of social media identifiers in visa applications. But it is our belief that all visa applications of Indian nationals should be treated on the basis of merit. And we remain engaged with the US side on all mobility issues and consular issues to ensure that the legitimate interests of Indian nationals are safeguarded. Achint, on some of your trade issues that you raised, on rare earths, yes, we have been in touch with the Chinese side, both in Delhi as also in Beijing, and we are talking to them as to how we can streamline the supply chain issue on rare earths. As far as the other issues that you raised, we are in touch with Chinese side on several economic issues and trade issues as and when anything is required to be done. अखिलेश जी, आपका सवाल ऑपरेशन सुंदीप पे आपको जानकारी मिल गई है ना? हिंदी में बोला नहीं मैंने? ठीक है, हिंदी में आपको बता देता हूँ. तो देखिए, 18 जून को हम लोगों ने ऑपरेशन सिंधु को लॉन्च किया था, और ऑपरेशन सिंधु में ईरान से और इजराइल से लोगों को वापस, भारतीय नागरिक को वापस लाए गए हैं। जहां तक ईरान का सवाल है, वहां से हम लोगों ने 3,426 भारतीय नागरिकों को, 11 ओसीआई कार्ड होल्डर्स को, 9 नेपाल के नागरिक को और 4 मेरे ख्याल से श्रीलंका के नागरिकों को हम लोगों ने वापस लाया है। और साथ ही साथ एक ईरानियन महिला जो एक भारतीय नागरिक से ब्याही है, उनको भी वापस लाया है। और ईरान से इतने लोग लाने के लिए हम लोग ने अब तक 15 स्पेशल फ्लाइट को को लगाया था इस काम में। और एक जहाज आर्मीनिया से आ रही है, वो शाम तक पहुंचेगी। उसमें भी कुछ भारतीय नागरिक वापस आ रहे हैं, ईरान में रहने वाले थे। तो कुल मिला के 14 और एक वो 15, आज 10-1 बजे तक वो जहाज आने वाला है। तो 14 एक 15 जहाज हो जाएगा। जहाँ तक इसराइल का सवाल है, वहाँ से 4 जहाज पे हम लोगों ने 818 भारतीय नागरिकों को वापस लाया है ऑपरेशन सिंधु के तहत। और जहाँ तक ऑपरेशन सिंधु को मतलब या तो ख़त्म करना है, क्या करना है, उसके बारे में हम लोग एक बार एक असेसमेंट कर लेंगे। ज़मीनी स्तर पे क्या उस ज़रूरतें हैं, नहीं है, उसके बाद हम लोग इस पर एक मत बनाया जाएगा। मोर प्लीज़।
Sir, I am Avinash from the Asai Shinbun. Sir, I would like to know India's present position on the Dalai Lama, and especially in the view of the fact that next month he will be turning 90, and some conferences and religious conferences and celebrations are scheduled to be celebrated there. And he's also expected to issue a statement which might talk about his reincarnation.
Okay, Rishabh.
Hello, sir. Issue from Times Now. So there are reports that US has downgraded their advisory on India. There are certain reports which suggest that the US citizens have been asked not to go out alone and should be in groups in parts of India. If we can have a comment on that.
Okay. Keshav.
Sir, the Keshav Padmanabhan from the print. The BRICS joint statement, which was published yesterday, called the military strikes on Iran a violation of international law, which was not there apart in India's own position. So, can you give us a comment whether that should be the understanding that India, as a part of the BRICS, considers the military strikes a violation of international law? Thank you.
Nirmala.
Nirmala from the Straits Times. I wanted to ask you, the India-ASEAN FTA review has run into trouble. Since economic cooperation with ASEAN is a major part of the relationship, does this impact ties in any way?
Ghazali.
Yeah, sir, Ghazali from NDTV. We believe that in this 12-day war, Mr. Netanyahu also spoke to Prime Minister Modi. So did Prime Minister express any reservation on the strikes on the nuclear installations in Iran? And what is India's stand on Iran's nuclear enrichment program?
Okay, Avinash, first your question on Dalai Lama. So, see, on this particular issue, we have already spoken several times. So, I would urge you to refer to what we have said on this particular matter. Rishabh, your question regarding travel advisories. Travel advisories are periodically issued by countries based on their assessment of various factors. We have noted that the United States has also updated the travel advisory for India. This happened, I think, on 16th of June, and thereafter we have been informed by the US authorities that there has been no change in India's advisory level, which remains at level 2, the same as before. And this the US's advisory level, travel advisory level for India, has been at level 2 for several years. Okay. Keshav, on BRICS joint statement, yes, we are part of BRICS. So I have seen the joint statement that was issued, where the member countries have expressed this grave concern. I would also urge you to look at the statements that we have issued on Israel-Iran issue, where we have expressed our deep concern on the escalation, and we've called for dialogue and diplomacy to be taken, the route of dialogue and diplomacy to be taken for de-escalation and for bringing regional stability and peace. Nirmala, on FTA negotiations, see, we have had, we have been having negotiations with uh, ASEAN on in regard to the FTA on ITIGA. We are working with our ASEAN partners. Uh, it is our expectation that this needs to be completed as soon as possible. That is our hope, and we look forward to continue with our engagement with ASEAN on this particular matter of ASEAN India Trade in Goods Agreement ITIGA. Ghazali, Prime Minister's meeting with telephone call between the Prime Minister of Israel and our Prime Minister. Yes, the telecon conversation had happened, and thereafter we also gave you a readout as to what transpired during that uh, telephone call. So I would refer you to have a look at that particular document. Amira.
Samira from BBC. There is a clear softening between relations between Canada and India. At the same time, there is still the court case that is unfolding with regards to the murder of Harjit Singh Nijjar that happened in Canada last year and the source of the massive amounts of consternation between the two countries. I'm wondering now that the court case is going to take place in the next few months, there's going to be a lot of evidence that's going to be put forward. How, I mean, does it mean that the current softening may erupt again?
Okay. Shruti.
So thank you. And since this is a briefing taking place after some time, if you give us two questions, I'll be very happy. One, so we have seen President Trump allowing China to, or easing the curbs on picking up oil from Iran. Is India also looking for something similar? Two, we have seen Pakistan's Field Marshal being invited to the White House. Does India have a concern on this, and does this affect India-US relationship?
Okay. Gautam.
Thank you, sir. This question relates to trade relations with Bangladesh. That following the India has taken reciprocal measure on the export to Bangladesh, whether Bangladesh government has reached out to India for trade and tariff issue.
Okay. Vishal.
सर मैं विशाल हूं एबीपी न्यूज से। मेरा सवाल प्रधानमंत्री के आने वाले विदेश दौरों को लेकर है। किन किन देशों का दौरा करने वाले हैं, खासतौर पर ब्राजील में ब्रिक्स को लेकर क्या उसके अलग से रूस के साथ में कोई द्विपक्षीय वार्ता होगी या अन्य देशों के साथ में?
Hello.
So the Bangladesh Foreign Ministry has held a trilateral meeting with the Chinese and the Pakistani foreign ministries. It's an inaugural trilateral. Do you have a comment on that? Because they have said they share common approach on many, multiple issues.
Okay. So, Samira, first your questions regarding India-Canada. See, that particular matter is under judicial process right now. So, we'll have to see how it goes. It's a legal issue. As far as India-Canada relations is concerned, you would have seen that, we had the meeting of a prime minister. It was a very productive and a positive meeting. And both sides underlined the need to pursue a constructive and balanced partnership. So we are looking forward to strengthening our partnership with Canada in several respects. In the economic side, trade side, energy side, on mobility side, student exchange. We have a lot of business to do with Canada, and we look forward to it. Sudhi, as far as energy purchases are concerned, as we have said before as well, these are dependent on market conditions as to what is available, what is the pricing that is available, as also what is the prevailing situation. So we'll have to wait and see, how things shape and evolve. On your questions regarding White House invitation. We have noted the visit. I have no further comment to make. As far as India US relationship is concerned, let me remind you that our partnership with the United States is wide ranging, grounded in shared democratic values and growing strategic convergence. The comprehensive global strategic partnership between India and the United States continues to receive high level attention and is manifested in sustained dialogue and cooperation across sectors from trade to critical technology to energy, defense, and several other fields. We remain confident in the trajectory of this most consequential partnership of the 21st century. Uh, Gautam, your question was on trade issues with Bangladesh. The trade related amendments announced by India in respect of Bangladesh were based on Bangladesh's own quest for fairness, equal treatment, and reciprocity. We await resolution of the underlying issues pending with the Bangladeshi side for a long time. These issues have been raised by India at several structured meetings earlier, including at the Commerce Secretary level talks. विशाल, अगले विदेश का यात्रा प्रधानमंत्री के उसके बारे में आपको विस्तृत जानकारी दी जाएगी। मेरा मानना है कि एक आध दिन में हम लोग इसकी प्रेस विज्ञप्ति जारी करेंगे और साथ ही साथ शायद सोमवार को हम लोग एक प्रेस ब्रीफिंग भी करेंगे जिसमें आपको बताया जाएगा कि क्या-क्या इस दौरे पे कौन-कौन सा देश और क्या-क्या प्रोग्राम है हमारा। Kalol, on the trilateral meeting that you referred to, see, we maintain a constant watch on the developments in our neighborhood that have a bearing on our interests and our security. Our relations with individual countries, while they stand on their own footing, take into account the evolving context as well. Agni?
So this is Agni from ABP. It's been reported that India is trying hard to renew the Ganges Water Treaty with Bangladesh since it's going to be expired in 2026. Can you throw some light on this?
Okay. Harry?
Good evening, sir. Sir, any word on the rescheduling of the visit of Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov since it was, postponed or deferred this month? Thank you, sir.
Ajay?
Sir, good evening. I'm Ajay Banerjee from the Tribune. Sir, I need a little clarification. The press note detailed from Mr. Dawal's visit to China said that the two sides discussed about the possibility of the next SR level talks. So that is of course stated. But are the SR level talks actually progressing to have a discussion or a resolution for the pending dispute, which Prime Minister Modi and President Xi had tasked the two SRs in Kazan, Russia in October last year? Are they actually progressing or they stalled? What is the position?
Please.
So they said Aditya. So just wanted to inquire that at this juncture, Europe wants that America should put sanctions on Russia, but the statement of U.S. Secretary Marco Rubio has come that still there will be no sanctions against Russia because it is not stopping the Ukraine war. So any comments from your side?
Okay. Agni, first your question regarding Ganga treaty. See, both India and Bangladesh, we share 54 rivers, which also includes the Ganga, to discuss all relevant issues that form part of this cooperation. The two countries have a bilateral mechanism in place, which is the Joint Rivers Commission. We also have consultations of concerned state governments, representatives in our own internal consultations on such issues, and to frame our approach. We are prepared to engage with Bangladesh on all matters in an environment that is conducive for mutually beneficial dialogue. Area, I don't have any update on the visit of the Foreign Minister of Russia. As and when we have an update for you, we'll share with you. Ajay, on regarding SR talks, see, as and when we have SR level talks, we have kept you updated of the progress of the developments that have happened. I understand that the next SR level talks have to happen in India, for which we had issued when the National Security Advisor met with the Foreign Minister of China. After that, there was a press release that was issued where we conveyed to you that the 24th round of special representative talks will be held in India at a mutually convenient date. So we'll keep you informed of the progress that is made in that account. Aditya, regarding sanctions, etc., on that you referred to, I have at this point in time, I don't have any comment to make. With that, okay, Gautam, Huma, you also have a question?
Thank you, Gautam Lahiri. There are reports that one Durga temple has been vandalized on the demand of the extremist elements of the Bangladesh, and the local administration had to demolish that. What do you have to say about it?
Okay. Huma?
Sir, now that the US has announced lifting of sanctions on Iran, would India be looking at importing crude from there?
So last, Manas and Kalol.
Manas from PTI is so India refused to endorse the SCO statement on Iran, but we just kind of signed off the statement by BRICS. So the BRICS statement was very ambiguous. It did not refer to US strikes or Israeli strikes on Iran, but it said the strikes on Iran. Right. So I mean, how we positioned ourselves in these two scenarios, because we endorsed BRICS and not endorsing the SCO.
Kalol?
Kalul from the Hindu. Sir, during the strikes on Iran, Israel targeted the nuclear scientists and also certain universities in Iran. What is India's position on targeting of science students and scientists whose profession is to research and develop science and scientific institutions, etc.?
Okay. So Gautam, first your question regarding what has happened in Dhaka. We understand that extremists were clamoring for demolishing the Durga temple in Khilkit, Dhaka. The interim government, instead of providing security to the temple, projected the episode as illegal land use, and they allowed the destruction of the temple today. This has resulted in damage to the deity before it was shifted. We are dismayed that such incidents continue to reoccur in Bangladesh. Let me underline that it is the responsibility of the interim government of Bangladesh to protect Hindus, their properties, and religious institutions. Uma, your questions regarding Iran. As I told you, that our energy requirements or energy purchases that we do, it is based on market factors as also the prevailing global situation. Manas, your questions regarding our position, I would request you to look at the statement that we issued on the developments in West Asia that clearly expresses our position that we were deeply concerned, and thereafter we called for de-escalation, also dialogue on diplomacy to be taken, to be adopted for bringing peace and stability in the region. Kalol, on again on your question regarding nuclear targets, etc. As you would have seen in our statement earlier as well, we expressed deep concerns about the recent escalation of the situation in West Asia, including the attacks on Iran's nuclear facilities. Subsequently, we have welcomed the ceasefire, as would have seen. India is closely following updates from IEA about the radiation levels in the affected sites. We have noted that so far, IAEA has reported that the targeted facilities either confirmed no nuclear material or small quantities of natural or low enriched uranium, and that radioactive contamination has been limited to the buildings affected by the strikes. We urge return to the path of dialogue and diplomacy for an early restoration of regional peace, security, and stability. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your participation and for all your questions. Thank you.
अगर आप भी लेना चाहते हैं देश दुनिया की तमाम जानकारी तो आज ही सब्सक्राइब करें हमारे चैनल को। साथ ही नीचे दिए बेल आइकन को जरूर दबाएं ताकि हर अपडेट आप तक पहुंच सके।